I think that you are going to be shocked when I show you the math behind these XRP ETFs as it relates to the supply shock theory I've been talking about for XRP for quite some time. Now we actually have the term sheets. We can dissect these offerings that are being provided by the institutions for physically backed XRP, with each share being backed by up to 30 XRP, in some cases even more. And so we're going to talk about the supply shock scenario that I think is about to play out for XRP when these ETFs and the institutional products go live. But before we get there, and this week, we got a very special date coming up, March 27th, this Thursday, is when I believe that the SEC will officially be voting to drop the Ripple appeal. This XRP case is coming to an end. So without further ado, let's get into this update. If you appreciate what we're doing, you know how to support us by liking our videos, sharing them out far and wide, and all of our community resources are available at zachrector.com. Let's get right on into it. Howard Lutnick, President Trump at the cabinet meeting yesterday. I want you to take a quick listen in here. President Trump says the external is going to replace the internal. Take a quick listen.
And that's American Liberation Day. That's the day when the rest of the world starts to treat America with respect. And your leadership, understanding how the rest of the world treats us and what balance and what fair trade finally is going to be, is going to take care of America. It's going to launch the External Revenue Service to start to build the power and prestige of America back. And I'm honored to be helping you on that course.
It's an interesting term, right? The External Revenue Service. We're going to take in a lot of money from the outside, and that's going to keep our taxes low, and I think getting a lot lower. It's going to be a lot of money, and the external will take care of the internal to a large extent. So I think it's going to be a beautiful transformation.
And that
A beautiful transformation sounds pretty dang good to me, and we better get on those tariffs pretty quick, Mr. President, because the IRS revenue is expected to plummet with April 15th tax day coming up right around the corner. This CNBC article is citing $500 billion in expected lost revenue this year. Up to 10% of their revenue is expected to be lost during this tax filing season. So we better get on it here soon. And in another update, I'm going to be breaking down some of the other comments from Howard Lutnick. I was listening to his interview on the All In podcast, and I've been listening to some of President Trump's. I try to listen to all of his appearances when he takes questions from the press, because when you stay up to date on these deals and what's actually being done here, there's a lot to get excited about and a lot to get very bullish about when it comes to our digital assets. I'll speak more on that here shortly. David Sachs giving us the update here. The FDIC is going to eliminate the use of reputational risk as a component of bank supervision. This is a big win for crypto. This is following with the U.S. OCC, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. Remember, they said that banks can hold in custody crypto, and they also can run validators. Now the FDIC is removing the reputational risk, which may sound good in theory, but it was defined as the potential that negative publicity regarding an institution's business practices, whether true or not, will cause a decline in the customer base, costly litigation, or revenue reductions. In practice, this vague and subjective criteria was used to justify the debanking of lawful crypto businesses through Operation Choke Point 2.0. Banking criteria should be objective and quantitative, not based on the potential for untrue stories. Thank you, Senator Tim Scott, for your leadership on this via the FIRM Act. So the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency giving the banks the green light. The FDIC also giving the green light. You're about to see this SEC versus Ripple case drop. Institutions are going to have the green light to bring out the ETFs and other products. More on that later. Now, we're going to be building out the best liquidity in the world on the XRP ledger. We were late to get in an AMM, but we are quickly catching up to other ecosystems. And I firmly believe that the XRP ledger will be the best source of liquidity in the world when this is all said and done. And in very short order, by the way, too. This is growing rapidly. Vet with the update on the AMMs, getting close to 20,000 AMM pools on the XRP ledger. Native, low cost, fast. It's the OG of all decentralized finance. And this is the year that XRP DeFi explodes. Now that the boot is off of our neck, the cloud that was over the XRP ecosystem is now gone. Why? Because the SEC is about to drop their appeal. We'll see what happens with Ripple and their appeal, but this case is coming to an end. And I dropped my XRP case conclusion prediction. On this Thursday, March 27th, the SEC commissioners will conduct the official vote to end their appeal against Ripple. But why did Brad come out and say last week that the case was going to be dropped, or that the appeal was going to be dropped? Because he already got the verbal confirmation from the commissioners, Hester Pierce, Mark Uyeda, the Republicans, and then you have a third final commissioner right now, Caroline Crenshaw. She's a Democrat, but I am expecting her to vote alongside Mark Uyeda and Hester Pierce to drop the Ripple appeal, and it's going to be happening this Thursday at the next Sunshine Act meeting. And now, you've heard me. I've actually said, guys, don't hang your hat on these Sunshine Act meetings. We've been watching these meetings take place. Part of this bill, this Sunshine Act, was making the SEC openly share that they're going to be discussing ongoing cases and litigation matters. And so that's why they have to report this. And so you've been seeing these meetings have been taking place. And I've said, disregard them. Don't worry about them. It's just like the ISO dates. I wouldn't worry about those ISO dates at all anymore. It's inevitable. It's coming. This year, if the banks need some more time, they'll give themselves some more time. You've seen them delay. Forget about it. Don't worry about the ISO dates. And I was telling you, don't worry about the Sunshine Act meetings. When the case is ready to conclude, it will conclude. And now I'm telling you to look closely here at this Sunshine Act meeting, because last week, Brad gave us the notice. I don't think that they're going to be waiting long to make it official. And so this week, this Thursday, I'm expecting the official vote that the commissioners will conduct to drop the Ripple appeal. And I think it's going to happen this Thursday. Now, I say official announcement will follow shortly. Will we get it Thursday, Friday? Maybe it'll wait till next week to finally get it. But it is going to be coming very, very soon. I believe it's going to be this week. Let me know what you guys think about this prediction. But also, this very same day, we have the first hearing to confirm incoming chair of the SEC, Paul Atkins. So not only could we see the Ripple case dropped by the SEC on Thursday, we also are going to get the process of confirming Paul Atkins as the new SEC chair started. It's going to be an exciting week to finish it off here, folks. Pay attention closely. Now we have Donald Trump's media company, Trump Media, parent company of Truth Social, has announced a partnership with Crypto.com to launch a series of ETFs and ETPs comprised of digital assets as well as securities with a Made in America focus, spanning diverse industries such as energy, according to a company press release, The Scoop here from Eleanor Terrett. Now, Crypto.com put out a post. I think it's been taken down, but this is an official press release here from Trump Media Group. And so it's looking like they're going to, they've announced their intention to launch these ETPs and ETFs with Crypto.com with basket crypto ETFs, including XRP and others. And so you're going to start to see the headlines have started to come out here this morning that, yes, President Trump's company is looking to launch ETFs that do include XRP, just like so many other institutions want to get in on this. And I'm about to speak about this next. These products are going to be sold in 589 different ways. The suits cannot wait to sell these products. And so you're seeing Trump's media group at the forefront of this, and really shocking. I didn't expect to see this from them. What was Trump Media's group intended to be? Just a media company with Truth Social. It looks like they're expanding now and basically offering institutional ETPs and ETFs. It's getting very interesting. And this is why for not 1 second am I going to get bearish about this market at all, especially cryptos that have been made in America, that are based in America, and fought on behalf of Americans, on behalf of all Americans in battling our own government. And that's exactly what Ripple did, spending $150 million to battle the SEC. And so I think that they're going to be at the forefront. And you're seeing with some of these other ETFs and these basket ETFs and index funds that are being created, the XRP is making up a large percentage of these ETFs. Now, this is where the supply shock scenario comes in. Because when you look at these ETFs and ETPs, the physically backed ones, where they're actually backed by real XRP, I was shocked this morning when I looked through the 21 shares ETP that is now being offered for Swedish investors That is the XRP, Bitcoin, and Solana ETPs are now available in Swedish kronor on the NASDAQ Stockholm exchange. So you can now get some exposure over here in Sweden. This is a product that's already live, but let's hone in on it real quick here, okay? This is 21shares.com. The XRP ETP has been live for a very long time here now. The inception date was 2019, okay? Now, the assets under management, this is where I was shocked when I got out my pen, my pad, and I did a couple of calculations here because this is impressive, okay? I'm going to show you real quick here. Assets under management for just this fund alone is 584 million. Now, the shares or securities outstanding is 8.4 million, 8,444,000 or 445,000. Now, the net asset value per unit is 69, right here, 69.20. Okay. Now I slide on over here. This is their term sheet. See, I downloaded this document, this PDF document for their term sheet, and I dug into this. What do I find right here? You look right here, issue price, and it has the collateral name and the amount per product and the weighting. So you look down right here. What is the collateral name? It's Ripple XRP, and the amount per product, 30.8 XRP. And the weighting of this ETF is 100%. This is 100% XRP. And each share, each unit or each share is backed physically by 30.8 XRP. Now I slide on back to this term sheet on their website, and this is how they are reaching 69.20 per share, which is slightly discounted. This is reporting from yesterday, March 24th. So they need to make a little adjustment here. And sometimes these don't necessarily equate to the price that you're seeing this exact minute, right? But they say the net asset value per unit is 69.20 because each unit is backed by 30 XRP, and our XRP is at about 240 right now. And so the net asset value really is about a little over $70. And so you're seeing 69.20 right now is what they're sharing. But here's where this is where I got surprised when I was looking through this morning. They now have 8.4 million shares outstanding. But when they initially issued this, they actually requested the ability to be able to do 21 million shares. Now, as it stands right now, with 8,445,000 shares right now, backed by 30 XRP each share, that is 253 million XRP that is backing this ETP right now. 253 million XRP backing this ETP now. 21 million potential though. If they end up expanding and issuing 21 million shares total, that is going to take us to 630 million XRP that will back this one ETF. Well, ETP over there in Europe. Same point. 630 million XRP will back this potentially. Right now, we got 253 million XRP physically backing this ETF. See, this is where the supply shock starts to come in. Is you start to lock up, 30 XRP per share. Some of these other ETFs are backing it by even more, 50 XRP, 100 XRP. Now, remember, this is just one, and you've already seen 11 ETFs filed for XRP in the United States, and more to come, right? BlackRock hasn't even filed their ETF yet. This is why I've been talking about this supply shock scenario for quite some time. Now we can start to really hone in on these term sheets and quantify and really validate how much XRP is backing these ETFs. Remember, this is just one. And please note that 630 million XRP, right? That's over half of a percent of the total XRP supply. We have 100 billion XRP total. A little over 10 million XRP has been burned. So you got 99,990 million XRP total, right? But let's round off. Let's make the maths. Let's make the maths simple. You have over half of a percent that potentially could be backing, over half of a percent of the total XRP supply could be backing just this one ETF. and we have 11 that have been filed here in the United States of America. See where this starts to go, folks? This doesn't include XRP that's being locked up for on-demand liquidity. This doesn't include XRP that's been locked up by me and you and buried in our backyard and we're never going to touch it. Raise your hand if you're in the XRP community and you have a portion of your XRP that you're never going to sell. You see how the dominoes start to fall here? So guys, lock in. This week, I'm expecting the SEC to officially vote to drop the appeal against Ripple. By April 16th, we will hear from Ripple as to what they're going to do with their appeal. I expect a settlement or the appeal to be dropped in some sort of deal. This case is over. Paul Atkins is in. America is back with investment capital pouring in by the trillions. The update that I just got from President Trump last night was 3 to 4 trillion of investment capital that's been committed to America already. All of this brings us up into a moment where the institutions can now fully dive in. And they're going to be backing it 30 XRP per share, 50 XRP per share, 100 XRP per share, a basket, an index fund. They're going to sell it in 589 different ways. And you were able to front run the institutions. And God bless all of you that are going to do really good with your wealth. I know that we're going to do some incredible things in the XRP family. I love having the conversations with you guys where we talk about what's going to be done. And we're going to be doing a lot. So with that being said, please lock in this week. Let's pay attention and watch it closely. Big bullish month coming up here after Liberation Day into April. Macro timeline converging with the XRP timeline. It equals that number going higher. God bless all of you guys. Smash it on the way out for me. ZachRector.com. See you tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern for our live show. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.